again, I say welcome, my friends. Welcome again, I say, to John's Sports Corner. And let me again say this, that the type of reception that we are getting on LinkedIn, where I can monitor how it compares with the other issues that I have posted up there that has to do with the diaspora, sports seems to be a very important corner, or seems to occupy a very important corner in the diaspora. Because I I put Blue Mountain Coffee, the gold Blue Mountain Coffee. It's still Australian sports. I put Jamaican rum cake, not rum, cake. It is it it is still Australian sports. I put bun, and I know it's not Easter, and
And
it is
one can done.
bun can. So let me say, John, welcome again to your platform, John's Sports Corner. And again, to our listeners, please spread the word. Let them know that we have an interest in sports in the diaspora. And the only place you can get it 24/7, 24/7, is on John's Sports Corner. That means you go to www.sosofat.com, you go to Sosofat TV, and you click on our channels. And that's going to take you to John's channel, John's Sports Corner. So again, say, John, welcome. Welcome to all our listeners, and thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you so much again, Trevor, for having me on this platform. Bone. And certainly, folks, a very good afternoon to you all. Good morning in some areas if you're listening. Good evening, good night. Again, welcome to John Sports Corner here on Bone Media. I just want to remind you again that if you go to Winner Circle Sports in the Bone shop, you can get merchandise of your choice. As Trevor mentioned, the great Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee is there. So too the rum cake, some call it black cake.
WOM, W-E-M, WOM.
Yes, and when I say black cake, it's not chocolate cake.
WOM,
It's rum cake. Of course, the bun done. So, folks, other things will be added as we go along. But visit the Bone shop, and it could be a T-shirt, whatever, and certainly select something that you will maybe not only go back to for the first time, but a second and third time. You might even want to get some things. I know Christmas is coming as Christmas gifts. It might make your Christmas gift giving a lot easier. So check out the Bone shop.
Yes.
I can safely say the 2024 summer doors are only slightly ajar now. Schools are beginning to open or have opened. And the best part is, at least for me, temperatures are beginning to go south.
Oh, yes.
I know not
Yes.
everybody likes to hear that, but for me, temperatures are beginning to go south, and I do enjoy temperatures when they go south. Let me again start, of course, with our birthdays. Yesterday, the former Guyana and West Indies cricketer Basil Butcher would have celebrated a birthday. He had 7 test centuries with a top score of 209 not out against England at Trent Bridge. Today, Bad Leroy Brown, president of the Jamaica Boxing Board, he celebrates a birthday. On Friday, one of our young athletes, Andrew Riley Hurdler, he celebrates. Former Jamaica fast bowler and coach of the Jamaica Scorpions, Andrew Richardson, will celebrate a birthday. On Sunday, O'Shane Bailey, one of our track athletes, celebrates too. A former athlete, Brandon Simpson. Another former athlete, Lorraine Fenton, celebrates birthdays. I can't fathom this one, Trevor. 33-year-old Ugandan athlete Rebecca Chepchige was reportedly dosed with petrol and set afire by a former boyfriend. The attack happened at her home in Kenya, where she was training. She suffered burns over more than 70% of her body.
Oh my.
The sad thing, she was returning from church with her 2 children.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine the horror these kids experienced and the nightmares they'll probably experience for the rest of their lives? You know, I've always believed that when a woman tells you to ride on, just ride on.
Right on. Right
You
on.
know,
Right on.
and and as Mr. Marley said in one of his songs, ride on and throw your corn against if you can catch another foul. But you know, to abuse a woman because she might not want to have a relationship anymore with you, I just can't deal with that at all. Especially for me, who have 4 sisters, grew up with 4 sisters. Um, hell would pop if any guy abused any of my sisters. It just wasn't going to happen.
But
As
you
a
know,
matter of
John,
fact, they
before
even
you,
knew how to take care of themselves.
yeah, before you kick on, it is a fact that, violence against women is just too common in our society,
Hmm.
and especially when we like to brag that we are a civilized, the most civilized society
Hmm.
since they were talking about civilization,
Hmm.
and yet this type of abuse, is common right across the globe,
Hmm.
and
But to dose
yeah,
somebody with petrol, gasoline, and light them a fire, Trevor.
yeah,
What kind of mind is that? You know? And I tell you, it's something I don't talk about too much. But I still remember that Monday morning in February of 1957 when my mom was called to come to the hospital because my dad was severely burned on his job
oh,
and he didn't survive.
oh, oh,
You know, the Tuesday evening he was gone.
oh,
And, even if Rebecca survives this horror, the scars that she will carry for the rest of her life,
yes,
it's so sad.
not just the external scars,
The mental scars
yes,
is,
yes,
it's even, what I tell you, and the children. Anyway, Trevor, Diamond League meet tomorrow in Zurich. Paris Olympic 100-meter gold medalist, St. Lucia's Julian Alfred, she's scheduled to run.
okay,
Tia Clayton among several Jamaicans heading for Zurich. In the 400 hurdles, Rochelle Clayton and Andrenette Knight, Genevieve Russell and Cheyenne Salmon also down to run. Daniel Williams in the 100 hurdles. Rashid Broadbell and Hansa Parchment in the 110 hurdles. Roshane Clark in the 400 hurdles. Wayne Pinnock and Teje Gale and Kerry McLeod in the long jump. While Lamar Distin in the women's high jump and Rajendra Campbell in the men's shot put. Jamaica's Yannick Thompson and Brittany Anderson go 1-2 in the ISTAFA World Athletics Continental Tour silver meet in the 100 meters in Berlin, Germany. Thompson's winning time was 12.73 seconds. Podium finishes also for some other Jamaicans. Zandrian Barnes, he was second in the 400 meters in 45.73. Omar McLeod, former world and Olympic gold medalist for Jamaica, he was third in the 110 hurdles in 13.28 seconds. Daniel Thomas Dodd, third in the shot put for women in 18.35 meters. Jamaica's triple jump world record holder Jaden Hibbert is rehabbing following surgery to repair a torn meniscus. He did compete with the tear in the just ended Paris Olympic Games. The surgery is not expected to affect his 2025 preparation. The only difficulty is he'll be moving with his coach, or the only difference actually, he'll be moving with his coach, Travis Goffert, from Arkansas to Kansas State. Coach Goffert is now the full-time director of track and field / cross country at Kansas State. Bahamian Divine Charlton, the 100-meter hurdler out of the Bahamas, has been forced to shut down her season because of a stress fracture she sustained in last week's Rome Diamond League meet. In March, she claimed the 60-meter world record in Glasgow with a new record of 7.65 seconds. Really an outstanding hurdler, Trevor Divine Charlton. In the world of cricket, Cricket Hall of Famer Leonard Chambers, and who also is a former Jamaica player, has written a book entitled Through the Years, My Life in Cricket. It's available on Amazon. I received my copy in the mail, which I have started reading, and as soon as I am done, Trevor, we will have him on this program to talk about the book. He has a vast experience, Trevor, in cricket. Not only a cricketer, but he has also been an administrator, a selector, both in youth and senior teams. So, Len really, he eats and sleeps and dreams cricket, even now.
John, when you finish giving us that data, I really want us to take an overall look at sports in the diaspora. So bear that in mind, because and that's in relation to what you just said.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the Caribbean Premier League, the losing continues for the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. Of course, they were formerly the Jamaica team, but that franchise was moved to Antigua, and losing their fourth game last night to the St. Lucia Kings. Falcons 142 for 7 from 20 overs. Justin Greaves 36, Noor Ahmed 3 for 18 from 4 overs. The Kings 144 for 3 from 17 overs. Johnson Charles 47 not out. Later today, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots take on the Guyana Amazon Warriors at Warner Park. The other losses for the Falcons, they lost to Barbados Royals by 9 wickets, by 3 wickets to the Guyana Amazon Warriors, and by 1 wicket to the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. Trinidad and Tobago are the Cricket West Indies under 17 50-over champions, with their final game against Barbados halted because of rain, with Barbados 28 for 1 after 5 overs, and they were chasing 160 for victory. They ended the tournament with 3 wins and 2 no results. Rain really hampered this tournament this year, Trevor. But it's good to see a new champion as Trinidad and Tobago defeated, should I say, dethroned the Barbados under 17 youngsters. Former Jamaica and West Indies cricketer John Campbell has served his time and is free to resume his career after a 22-month drug violation suspension. The Court of Arbitration for Sport reduced his 4-year ban to 22 months, which ended on Thursday, August 22nd. From all indications, he'll be back in the Jamaica Scorpions squad. And, I am happy to see him back and still having the appetite to play cricket after a 2-year ban. But I have to ask this saucer bone question. Does it say something about our cricket that John Campbell can walk back into the Jamaica team after missing 2+ years of cricket and averaging only 30 in 91st class matches? I
Well,
suppose the other side of the coin is that Campbell is only 30, and with dedicated hard work, going forward, he can probably get a good 5 or 6 years of cricket in his pocket. He also has played 20 test matches for the West Indies and 6 one-day internationals. And he does have a top score in one-day cricket of 179 against Ireland. Barbados and West Indies fast bowler Kemar Roach has rejoined Surrey for the final 4 games in the English county cricket season. He featured in the first 6 games of the season and has picked up 18 wickets thus far. Iconic Jamaica cricket ground Sabina Park to receive a high-definition state-of-the-art scoreboard valued at approximately US 700,000 from India. The Jamaica Cricket Association President Dr. Donovan Bennett calls the gift a game changer. The new scoreboard is expected to be unveiled during the Bangladesh tour of the Caribbean in November. And Deandra Darting heading for the Women's Big Bash League down under for the first time since 2022. She was selected by the Melbourne Renegades in the player draft, and she joins West Indies women's captain Hayley Matthews at the Melbourne club. The 2024 Women's Big Bash runs from October 26th to November 30th. The Renegades open against the Sydney Sixers on October 27th at Adelaide Oval. Also heading for Big Bash on the men's side are Shea Hope, who was drafted by the Hobart Hurricanes. Sherfane Rutherford, drafted also by the Sydney Thunder. Akil Hossain, he is going to the Sydney Sixers, while Fabian Allen will be with the Adelaide Strikers. The Big Bash runs from December 15th through January 2026. In the world of football, more accolades.
More accolades.
Could be in the making for Jamaica's reggae girl captain Khadija Bonishaw.
Oh, yes.
For the second year, she's on the Ballon d'Or shortlist.
Okay.
And she has had such an outstanding season, despite I think she missed, what was it, 5 games in the women's Super League. But she was way ahead in goal scoring. She had something like 8 goals ahead of the second place finisher at this end of the season.
Yes.
She had an outstanding season. So she is shortlisted for this year's Ballon d'Or, and I think she has a good chance.
Okay.
The twists and turns of a professional athlete's life. Leon Bailey, who had his odds with the Jamaica Football Federation the last few months, was called last week for the CONCACAF Nations League games against Cuba and Honduras this month. Injured himself in action with the Aston Villa game on Saturday against Leicester. So he has been replaced for this round of games by Sheffield Wednesday's Jamal Lowe. And Jamal, of course, no stranger to the Reggae Boys. He has had a few games, but was left out of the original squad. Trinidad and Tobago, meanwhile, opened their Group B Nations League bid against Honduras on Friday in Honduras, then returned to play French Guiana September 10th at the Dwight York Stadium. Jamaica opens also on Friday at the National Stadium against Cuba. The
Okay.
2024-25 Jamaica Premier League season, scheduled to kick off September 15th. Cavalier are the defending champions, and the league is expected to be bigger and better this season. The 60th edition of the Father Roper Cup was played last Saturday between North Street rivals Kingston College and St. George's College. Kingston College 9-0 over St. George's College in the under-14 game, 6-1 over St. George's in the under-16 game, 2-1 over St. George's in the under-40 game. The over-40 game ended 1-1, so too the feature game, the under-19. That game ended 0-0.
Okay. So it look like the older they get, the better they get, you know, right?
Well, I guess it depends on what you're drinking, you know, Trevor.
And I mean, we go from 9 love to 6 love to draw.
You know? Going across the pond to English Premiership on the weekend, Liverpool 3-0 over Manchester United. What I believe the story is, Mo Salah scored 1 goal and set up the two others. Salah's contract with Liverpool is up this year, and he says he has not been approached by the club about a new contract yet. So is treating this as his final season with the Liverpool club. Think the lucrative Saudi Pro League could dangle a carrot with more money for Salah?
Well, you know, he has really been one of the standout players, you know, in the league. But I am looking at Real Madrid, you know, and Real Madrid is not taking any prisoners right now. I mean, they took Mbappe. They have I mean, those guys.
The Vinicius, the
You know,
Brazilian.
Vinicius, and
Yeah.
and they are about winning championships, okay. And these guys don't have a financial problem, okay.
But neither does Manchester City, you know.
Neither does Manchester City.
The defending Premier League champions,
Right.
they do have.
So they saw the money, you know. It is attractive for guys who are winding down their career. But if they really want to be in the headlines, it's not Saudi. Okay? I mean, it's not Saudi because Saudi is trying to build itself as a soccer country. England owns soccer. Europe owns soccer. Brazil owns soccer. Okay? Saudi is
but interestingly, Trevor, you know, Messi turned down the Saudi money.
Of course.
And he's played in Miami.
Because he gets more he gets more television time in America. We don't listen. We don't know one. I don't know one of the news service in Saudi Arabia. Do you know any? But you know ESPN and CNN and these guys over here, right? Okay. I mean, we don't hear that when we don't hear that when things are going on over there. If Messi goes to Saudi, the crowd is not gonna change. It's the same crowd. He's not gonna draw one extra person. It's the same crowd. Those guys who watch soccer over there, they come out to watch soccer, whether it's Messi is there or Ronaldo is there, or you know, it's the same crowd. When it comes to when Messi came to America, Miami went from a mediocre crowd to standing room only. They went from losing games to winning games, and the type of publicity that Miami has received since Messi came there, you can't put a dollar figure on that.
Not only that, you know, one of my sons down there, he said, Dad, The price of tickets went from here,
Well,
you know, you know,
yeah, that's what I'm saying,
yeah.
that that Miami has no problems paying for anything, okay?
Mm,
Because the branding of the city is most important. Whether it's college, the Hurricanes, whether it's basketball, the Heat, okay?
mm,
I mean, soccer suddenly, I mean, NFL football, same thing. These guys, I mean, who did they are this guy from New England only a couple years ago winning championship for them in NFL football, okay?
mm, mm,
And it's not like anybody. No, this is a place where the headlights are on.
mm,
Okay,
mm, mm,
so it's okay for Ronaldo to turn up over in Saudi, and put a star on their team that people comes out to watch. But the rest of these guys, they're gonna wait until they have established their stars in the West, because this is the first year that Messi and Ronaldo have not on the Ballon d'Or.
mm,
Okay?
mm,
And that's
mm.
because one of them is in Saudi and the other one is in Miami. Okay? First year in since
Playing,
2003.
playing minor league football.
Play by the league football.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and it's okay if you have a business that is failing, that you get somebody you can turn it around and pay them good money,
Mm.
which is what they're doing to Ronaldo and
Well,
and and, and all the other guys who are turning up
as I
over
always say, no, Trevor, the oil can't spoil,
there.
Mhm. But
Yes.
Salah, he joined the Liverpool club in 2017,
Mhm.
and in 352 games, he has scored 214 goals so far.
Yes. He's a
So
machine. You know.
we'll see. I guess at some point we'll see how Liverpool treats Salah,
But
and
Salah,
especially
Salah needs a type of championship that Ronaldo talked about when he went to Barcelona, then he went to Real Madrid, and then I mean, every time he walks out of the room, he has a ring on his finger, okay, or he has a thing around his neck. Salah needs that, okay. I do not know if Salah came to Premier League in the US if he would fill a stadium,
right, right,
okay.
right,
I don't,
right.
you know. You
Yeah,
think you,
I don't think he has that kind of drawing card.
you bring
You
Vincent,
know,
you bring Vincius over here, okay,
just yeah.
and the left side of that stadium is jam packed with black, green, and gold. Okay, whether it be Brazil black, green, and gold or Jamaica black, green, and gold, we know. So you bring him over here, you know, that side of the field is jammed pack because
Mm-hmm.
he is a star, okay,
Mm.
and he has a championship medals to prove it,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm. Mm.
Salah is a great ball player, but he still need to have those medals around his neck.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Okay?
Anyway, Trevor, you mentioned Real Madrid and Kylian Mbappe,
Yes.
and the drought is over for Mr. Mbappe in La Liga as Real Madrid defeated Real Betis 2 goals to 0 on the weekend,
Uh-huh.
and Mr. Mbappe scored his first 2 goals.
No,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. You can imagine. We know Vincius' speed, right?
yeah,
We know his speed. That
yeah.
he normally just trick the ball around somebody and tell and dare them to catch him.
Hmm.
And you have somebody on the right side named Mbappe. Oh no, he plays left, right, center. Okay, that guy's a rover, and the type of speed that he has, that is track speed. So you
Hmm.
put you put two track stars, one on the right and one on the left. That is gonna be interesting race to watch. Okay.
And you see, the question is, who do you mark?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
Who
can't
you
mark
mark?
it. You
You
can't
know.
mark them because you can't
So
keep
you
up with
you, you
their
still
speed.
you still spread the defense. They can.
You know,
Clog up the defense.
you can't mark up you can't mark a guy who is faster than you.
Mm.
You can
Mm.
stand beside him and smile at him and ask him to slow down if he and do you a favor, don't look too bad. Okay. I was watching my piggy not no little league soccer NFL football game over in Rosedale a couple years ago.
Mm.
And you had this team from Long Island and they're playing against Rosedale Dragons. I remember, but at the Rosedale team that's over there.
Mm. Mm.
And you had a couple of guys on the Rosedale team. It doesn't matter how far behind they take toss them the ball. When they when they start running, people are chasing them. And one time, finally, when the coach took off one of these linebackers or defensive backs who were supposed to be stopping him, I heard him saying to the coach, "He's too fast. He's too fast." Okay.
So speed kills.
He's too fast. He's too
Yeah.
fast. And Bap has shown that on many occasions that, if it's a foot race, when they pass the ball overhead into an open field,
Yeah,
a foot race.
you're dead.
Okay. And Vince just says the same thing.
Like in Cool Runnings, you're dead Sanka.
You did, I mean, Vince just, Vince just has been the most fouled player in the league because they let me know clear and straight that when he passes the ball around you, forget about the ball and go for the man. Okay. And he has been, yes, that he complains more than anybody else because he gets fouled more than everybody else.
Well, him and Neymar.
Same thing.
Neymar has suffered quite a few injuries, but I think Neymar has attracted more harsh tackling than I think Vinicius has. And
Neymar,
over the years, he has not learned to change his game to be maybe more of a distributor than trying to beat a guy.
but you see, Neymar is a more skilled player than Vinci because Neymar will take on three guys.
And that is why he gets damaged instead of
that is Neymar will zigzag through them. Now Vinci will just pass the ball around them and say, "Catch me if you can."
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's interesting that Neymar over the years didn't consider then, or somebody didn't try to get him to change his game and become more of a distributor than taking on. You take on the defense inside the box, that when them fall, you get a penalty, but not outside the box.
Yeah, but you see, I think simultaneously, they know Neymar's game and they build the team around that, because if Neymar is drawing three guys, that means you should have two guys wide open waiting for him.
And that's why I say he should become more of a distributor.
Yeah.
Because there are guys open, you just find them. One touch, you find him.
But I guess you can say he built a reputation as being the guy who, can beat as a dribbler. He's got very quick feet. He has quick feet.
He want to embarrass you.
Well,
he want to embarrass the defense. Defense one.
if they get into the habit of knowing he's gonna pass the ball, then they might go one-on-one with him. But since they know that when he beats one man, if somebody is not there to back him up, then he's his only goalie over there praying, saying Hail Marys, then Neymar has never had less than two or three guys in front of him. The moment he gets the ball, the double teams comes over. Because he's going to beat the first guy. Okay? The first guy does not stop Neymar. I've never seen the first guy to stop him.
The first guy will tackle him so hard he falls.
Well, yes.
And hops off the field.
And that's what they do. And that's what they do with Vince. Because if he goes by you, then you're chasing him. So you have to go for the body. But John, the question I was right looking at, this, an issue I was trying to maybe, I said I could like to look at is, how do you look at sports in the diaspora? When you come, when you, and I'm talking about representative sports from the Caribbean in the diaspora. Not people who comes out of the islands and get a scholarship, a track scholarship. I'm talking about developmental sport. Because we see the same talent that we left down in Jamaica. We carry the same DNA we left down is the same DNA we carry over here, right? So do you think there's an absence of sports development in the Caribbean community? Granted that when we talk about cricket, are we creating cricketers here for more community, right? All these cricketers are cricketers coming out of Jamaica.
I don't think we create cricketers here. They come from the different Caribbean islands to play. You see, once a cricket is done in the autumn months, then you don't see these cricketers again until maybe March.
Right.
And I suppose there is not, and a lot of the cricketers who play in our leagues here in New York, they are coming up from the Caribbean.
That's my point.
They're not, and I think I mentioned this before too, Trevor, that you have high school league in New York. And I've been to a few games. And I would think you would see more of the club officials, New York club officials at games, maybe trying to scout for a youngster to come into the league. But you don't see them.
Well, you see, that is what I'm trying to analyze. Are we gonna? I mean, we talk about the diaspora population, and when you use Jamaican as an example, we say that we have more in the diaspora than we're doing back in Jamaica. But from a cultural perspective, if we're accustomed to having jerk chicken in Jamaica, sorrel, bun, black cake, that is embedded in our culture down there. Also embedded down there is our sports, cricket, soccer, track, okay, deeply embedded. So people coming out of Jamaica can relate easily to the sports platform we have down there. But I would say that 7 out of 10 people in our diaspora does not relate to sports in the diaspora.
You know, but it's a different environment, you know, Trevor.
Yes, but I see that. What I'm saying is we have also, but we are taking everything else that we have, our foods, our culture, or whining on the parkway. We're taking them all into this atmosphere that we have. That we are
I think when you come to New York or come to America, you have to work, you know.
Yes, but we work in Jamaica too. And clear that.
Yes. But in some instances, you can leave your job early to go practice cricket or football.
Yes.
That's not going to happen here.
But even as we say, from a grown-up perspective, I'm not looking at it from a grown-up perspective. I'm saying that our children, or second and third generation, none of them will be cricketers. I mean, you might have 1 or 2 schools in a place where you have a population that you can say, okay, you know, you might have a couple of cricket matches. What I'm saying is 25 years from now, when we are not importing, when we're not importing cricketers out of the West Indies to play cricket over here. Look at the World Series that we just had.
You see, Trevor, here's part of the deal. I think the our youngsters growing up over here might gravitate to basketball, baseball, and football before cricket.
Definitely.
I
Definitely,
mean,
because those are dominant over here.
I look at my sons, and I used to take them when they were young to the park when football, Caribbean Cup or something was playing,
Mhm.
but they weren't interested.
But you see,
The younger one turned up, come to me one day and said, "Dad, can I play lacrosse?" I said to him, "No problem,
no problemo.
no." And what we did, because we don't play lacrosse, during the summer, the 2 first summers, we sent him to a lacrosse camp to
Yeah.
learn the game.
Okay. Now, that is where this discussion I was talking was raising. That are we having summer camps, you know, for our children, so that from a cultural perspective, we are not saying that we are an incomplete cultural community. Because yes, we have the language and we have the music and we have the food. Okay, we have the food, but we don't have that other part that cements us down there. We don't have. We are not. We also we have the Caribbean track teams.
Mhm.
Okay, where you say okay, it is embedded. Okay, so when you look on the sidelines, parents are out there at track meet in the diaspora with their kids. They're out there, fathers out there with their sons, not asking their sons to watch soccer, but having mini kiddie league, I mean cricket league, where the kids is seeing daddy playing cricket. He takes him to the park with him, and he gets him a bat. And in the backyard, they say, no, we play cricket, we jerk chicken, we Jamaican style patties, black cake and rum cake and sorrel, and we also play cricket. So that part of the culture is not absent. So when the child goes on to Jamaica now on a visit, and everybody always talk about cricket, he's standing there want to know what type of insect is that.
I just think, Trevor, that youngsters here might see more opportunity in the American sports
Yes.
rather than cricket and even the football, unless you specifically carry your son to join a club or something,
Mm-hmm.
and you with him every and and you see, like I know in Jamaica, your son maybe going to high school then,
Mm-hmm.
and you're playing, and he's playing football or cricket. When you leave work, you head for that high school.
Right.
So you go home with your son.
Right.
And when he has a game, you go to the game.
Yes.
Like when my son played lacrosse, the games were played mostly when I'm at work.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, I mean, by the time I get to the game, there's maybe about 2 or 3 minutes left in the game.
And that was
Unless
bad. And that was
it's
bad scheduling.
on a Saturday, then I could go with him to the game.
Right. That you see, that was bad scheduling because if the persons who are developing at the league are only looking at the finished product, then they don't care about you. They
But you
don't care
see,
about you.
this is the high school system here.
Yes. But if you have 4 kids and one of them is in high school playing lacrosse, and you cannot take the family now to go sit down and watch their brother or their sister competing, then it doesn't come down the chain. You see, it's an isolated standalone. Because I'm just saying that we look at other communities and we see them and they do what they do best. For example, you don't have to ask the Chinese about ping pong. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to ask them if they, if they, I mean, for them, they accept that easily as embedded in their culture. And then when they go to the Olympics, they expect to win. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica have track and field. And that
We
is,
expect to win.
we expect to win. You understand?
Yeah.
So when our kids goes outside there and they're running over here, we say we are Jamaicans and you're running track. You're supposed to win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because your example is Usain Bolt and Safa and Shelly-Ann. Okay? That is how the culture normally imposes itself inside the culture. So that we can say, like, listen, there's a reason why we have West Indian Parkway and Labor Day, and there are 2 million people or 3 million people on the Parkway, because that's how we do it in Trinidad. Okay, so we're not come up here to do no one block and go home. Okay, that is not how we do it.
I just think the environment is because of the environment. And as I say, our kids might see more opportunity in playing the American sports than playing cricket or football, soccer, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, I just think
But
it's
you
a
see,
difference in the environment.
well, if the reggae boys come up here to play,
And it's a trouble. They have friends too. And the friends might not
the peer pressure,
be from the Caribbean.
yeah, the peer pressure,
I want to play cricket.
yes. But you
They're
see,
playing basketball.
but you see, I think that is how you share the culture. Because I say that because I talk about that and I compare it to our foods. I know some of the struggles I had just to get certain foods in certain places,
Mm-hmm.
because it is the same thing. They never used to eat this product. Okay, Bob Marley came out with the music, and it was something that he put the footprints in the sand for us to follow. Follow the music with the food. Follow the music with the food. And everybody who is listening to reggae music, they have no problem eating Jamaican food, because they have already endorsed the brand. They have
Well,
endorsed the brand. Okay.
I
And
hope,
you
Trevor,
hope.
I hope that if a certain young lady wins the presidency November 5th,
Yes.
that saltfish and ackee become national dish.
Well, we
And
are.
jerk chicken, oxtail.
Hold on. I am already lining up rum cake and toto.
Yeah,
Special delivery to the White House.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying, that when we look at things like Jamaican style parties as an example, we saw how over the last 50 years it has evolved and worked its way into the system. So when you go into pizzerias now, for example, in New York City, they're giving a Jamaican party with a pepperoni and cheese inside.
Mm.
Okay, and our product as a culture has crossed over. Jerk is working itself now up the ladder. Okay, and I say that because I see a lot of jerk in supermarkets, and it's made in South America, and it's made in Minnesota.
Mm.
So when you find that they actually start taking a cultural product and making it themselves, you can see that there's a certain amount of there's a certain acceptance that's coming to the platform.
Mm-hmm.
We know that track and field, we got that covered. Okay. They try to get every one of our people out of Jamaica that they can to come run for them in their schools over here, just to elevate their track.
Team.
Not because they want to really help them. When they give them a scholarship, it's so that their track program, when they're running there, would have a more robust presence. That is, we have people here who are setting example for our students here who want to run.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not because of the individual. It's they're doing it for the program. For the program. So I am saying is we have not developed the site of attendance that you saw at the World Cup in New York too
In cricket.
in cricket. No,
Mm-hmm.
if they were conscious, we would have had more cricket matches over here, test matches being staged in Atlanta. We pull out of Carolina and Florida. In New York, we pull out of Connecticut and Philadelphia and New Jersey. Okay, because again, you said when you tried to get into that match last World Cup that they had out in Long Island, I mean, those tickets are outside of the president's league.
Mm.
Now that tells you that if you're to bring in consistent test matches being played, then when they see 50,000 people in the stands, other people is gonna know what the devil are they doing over there because they're playing a baseball game, but they're playing all day.
Mm.
Okay, they're running between bases. Okay, and you're playing all day while we pay 2 hours and we go home. It's gonna spill out, just like foods, music, and any other thing that the culture brings in. I just think that the Caribbean community has not evolved to the point where they understand that it strengthens them, our culture here, when we have everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a piece of the pie. Because what I see a piece of the pie. And I talk about this on many occasions when I say that when they talk about how important the Caribbean, the diaspora is, and I use Jamaica as an example because when I use Trinidad or Barbados, my friends said to me, talk about your own country, leave me alone. So, and I say this because as much as we have pen relays, when our kids come up here for pen relays, they come up here for pen relays. But CARICOM does not understand the importance of sport in the diaspora, not the Jamaican diaspora, but in the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, for example, that there is a sports platform inside of CARICOM. Okay, so when they say that they're looking to get $50 million from the United Nations to develop something, it includes develop the cultural aspect of sports in the
Sports.
diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
In the diaspora. So we talk about you have a CTO, Caribbean Tourism
Mm-hmm.
Association, but you don't have that sports platform. And the CTO is not focused on the Caribbean, it's focused on the outside of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have that presence down there. We can say, listen, my son is not basketball doesn't appeal to him or baseball because he's one of those black men who can't jump. But if you put him, if you give him a table tennis racket when he's 5 years old, when he's 15, he will be a very good table tennis player. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't see any representation for table tennis, for example, from the Caribbean at the Paris Olympics.
No.
Okay, so that is the type of observation I'm talking about. Where we have 4 million outside of the Caribbean when it comes to Jamaica, and we don't in that 4 million, we don't have what we have in the 2 million down there. Need some thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Need some thinking about. I saw
Yeah.
when I saw the South African track star who got was offered scholarships to come to America. to come to school. He said he's staying home.
Mm.
And he was being comment. I mean, there. I mean, just by the decision he made, we're pretty much calling him my hero. That he never fell for the American invitation. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but even in Jamaica, a lot of our I know athletes come here, but a lot of them stay home
That's right.
and go to UTech or UW and or to um GC Foster College
Mhm.
and develop their athletic prowess while getting the education. I mean,
That's right.
Shellyan is a prime example,
Yes.
you know.
But simultaneously, apart from Team Jamaica Bickle, that is focused consistently on the pen relays, we cannot really see where the community is behind. We know we have a cricket team here. We have cricket tournaments over in Queens, and most of the time we're bringing up players from Jamaica at their expense or at the team's expense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's not being promoted by out of the country as a cultural development.
But Trevor,
It is private business.
so one of my good friends uh, called me the other day
Mhm.
about let's talk cricket. Um, I have this program. I also do the program on a Sunday on
Yes.
radio
Mhm.
covering sports. I have spoken to two of the presidents of leagues here
Uh-huh.
in New York
Mhm.
and tell them that my platform is open to them
Yes.
anytime.
Mhm. You don't
So
see
I
that.
have spoken to them more than once.
You don't see that.
They have never called me back. If I don't call them, they don't call me.
And we need to have this discussion. You know.
And to be very frank, I really don't need them.
No, but the
But
league,
I have a
but
platform that can help promote their game.
yes, you know,
And it's free and I'm charging them anything.
and you don't see them. You
You
see,
know.
because culturally
Hmm.
they are not recognized as a part of the culture. They are just a group of guys who like to play cricket.
And they play the cricket in the summer and they go home.
Yeah,
When the last game is played, they
nothing
go
after.
home and that's it.
No,
Yeah.
no clinics. You
Mm-mm.
know, nothing like that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, and maybe that is maybe that's a discussion that needs to take place because we have so many organizations, who are exhausting a lot of times of their time and resources, and they're focused on Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica. And in the process of doing that and giving 99% of the volunteer time to benefit Jamaica, they're starving the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because the diaspora is a one-way traffic going down. And it's not like so when you're saying all them everything to Jamaica, Jamaica is gonna send you something back. Nothing comes back.
And if somebody don't dare come up and visit and bring cheese crunches for you, they're eating it. You know?
and that's it. And this is the type of discussion that the dashboard should be talking about. That
Mm-hmm.
are we gonna dissolve inside the American population after over the next 80 years?
Mm-hmm.
So our children, when you mention Maroons, they don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you mention Morant Bay and Paul Bogle, they don't know what you're talking about. Okay, because we know they don't teach Black history in this country. But are our children who are born in this country being taught Black history, Caribbean history?
And I see somebody, I saw something making the social media rounds about Jamaica and our ancestry from Africa, that we them linking it to Nigeria.
Yes.
I think completely ignoring Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and these people, somebody called me and said, "But John, didn't don't Ghanaians were part of that slave trade?" I said, "Yeah."
Yes. But they do say that a lot of the ones from Nigeria, they came to, they came to the English speaking, while Portugal, took most of them out there, took them to South America and along those lines. But yeah, and not of the bloodlines that we have, especially those that Jamaica bloodline, don't they? The ones who take no prisoners and no and when you pass them when you pass with their girlfriend, keep it straight. Don't look back at their girlfriend.
I
Yes,
remember,
those are Nigerian DNA. They said those are the DNA from Nigeria.
but, but I remember working with this guy from he's from Nigeria years ago, and I was talking to him a little bit about Jamaican history. And when I mentioned the names Akompong and Nani, he said to me, "Oh, I see why you Jamaicans are like that.
Mhm.
You have the Ghanaian, not the Maroon, oh,
Cameroon,
what they tribe name again?
the Zulu,
Ashanti,
and the
the Ash-
Shanti.
Ashanti, yeah."
Yeah.
And he said to me, they were the only tribe that was not conquered by the British.
Mm, yes.
And so that's why you Jamaicans are like
Yes.
that.
Yes. That is
You know.
exactly where that's what the DNA points to.
Mhm.
That's where the DNA points. So that when they do a lot of the DNA testing, it it is replicated into those two countries, Ghana and Nigeria.
Nigeria.
You see?
Mhm.
And so you can understand therefore that the bloodline, you know, the history of your people passes down through the cells. I mean, you don't need to
Mhm.
be taught. You don't. I mean, if every cat that goes outside there, when it goes, I say that, and this is a rat, know that it's got dinner on the table. Okay, okay. It just passed right through the bloodline. Okay, in your mind. Okay,
Okay.
so warriors' sons become warriors, fishermen's sons become fishermen. You know,
Mm.
hunters kids become hunters, and it's not something that is taught to them, it's something that is passed on to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm talking about us now not having that passing on. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
so at a certain point, when you try to identify what sports governs our culture, so but we are immigrants and we're saying football,
Mm.
we're saying baseball, we're saying
Mhm.
basketball. But when you go back down to the islands, those things are on the hedges, periphery.
But to also be fear, basketball and lacrosse are
So,
becoming two of the big sports now in Jamaica.
okay,
Kids playing that.
because they can play it
See,
all year
and
round.
see the women's team just go to the World Cup lacrosse.
Yes.
You know, they were beaten, but the exposure. You know,
I
a young lady can say, "I went to the World Cup. I will go to lacrosse World Cup."
Same thing with the reggae girls in the World Cup.
The regular girls, yeah.
They
You
didn't
know,
win the World Cup, but boy, we're proud of them. And the rest of the world is looking at them and saying, okay. I mean, it was one of the most watched. It was one of the most watched games during the World Cup.
and and you see, for me, Trevor, it's the next step. It's not getting to the World Cup. We have to look at World Cup like a Brazil, like a Argentina, like England, Portugal. We going to World Cup to go win World Cup.
All
We don't
right.
just want to get to the World Cup. You want to win.
And you see, and that come back what we were saying that by the same token, we have 4 million on this side of the fence, and we have 2 million on that side of the fence. And when they're ready, they're cherry picking from England, and we're trying to find some people to put, you know, on a team, bring them together. And you would figure that if we were actively promoting soccer, Caribbean come soccer, as part of our presence in our 4 million, then we would be on the same level of promoting it as the 2 million we leave back home.
I think part of that, though, Trevor, the 4 million here are spread out over a wider geographic region.
Yes.
Back home, the 2 million is more concentrated. And that could be part of the drawback here.
Okay.
That we are so fragmented then. Here, it was 4 million, we're fragmented.
True. And even when we have the talent, they don't see the talent. So somebody listen. I have some cousins, and you used to go to UTech in Brooklyn. Run track fast like light, But guess what? They were never identified as Jamaicans because their mother is a Jamaican. Never identified as Jamaican. Look at Sterling over in England. Why isn't Sterling playing for a Jamaican team? Huh?
Well,
I mean, think about it. And I don't mean this year, I mean for the last 10 years.
Maybe it was better for him to play for England.
Yes. And that is the problem we have. When another country...
Because Trevor, look at the players who are called to play for Jamaica.
Mm.
It's those who are borderline in England,
All right. And that is the problem we have. We are the only one who will play for the culture and play for the country are the borderline players, because we have not spread the table. We are best players.
Mm-hmm.
Our best players choose to represent the country, because we have not made it. You see, that road is not spread out in front of them from early. And so we start, look at all this, listen, from Canada to for the UK, when it comes to track, you think of the gold medal winners they have had in 200 and 100 meters in Canada or in the UK. They're all Jamaican. Take a look. They're Jamaican offsprings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Why are they running for Canada? Why are they running for the UK? It's because inside of our culture, we have not acclimatized them to the fact that they are Jamaicans. Okay? And they love the rock like those of us who leave the rock talk about the rock. So that when they're excelling, they say, no, I have to run for my papa country, for my country. And you can't, country first. Country first. We have not embedded that into our children. Country first. So they are not following they're not following the code.
Mm-hmm.
They're not following the code. That's it. That will say we say country first. When we are trouble down there, we jump up. They're not jumping up now when Berry passed through, John.
Mm.
We are jumping up. We are on the way out. They don't know what it's about. Beryl. Who is Beryl? We are barreling up. We're talking about it non-stop with our friends. They're not in the conversation, John.
Mm-hmm.
So it sends a message that we are not communicating right in the diaspora. We're not communicating.
Mm.
Sends a message, and that's something that need to be analyzed. Okay, needs to be analyzed.
Yeah. Anyway, Trevor.
Yes.
Let me just finish up with this sports. As a 37-year-old Uruguayan footballer Luis Suarez announced his retirement from international football, he has confirmed that his World Cup qualifier against Paraguay this Saturday will be his final international match. Suarez is Uruguay's leading goal scorer. He has 69 goals for 142 appearances. What about chess? Have you ever played chess,
Hold on,
Trevor?
hold on, hold on. But Suarez, is he living in Miami when he says he's retiring or from role? But he's with Messi in Miami.
No, international.
International. So
International.
he will still be in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So,
I just want to
but
get that straight for the
international.
listeners. Okay.
Mm. Chess, is one of the games I have never played actually. Chess and bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I have dabbled on the chess board a couple of times, but I have two sons who tell me that they are 7 plays ahead. So I just
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, 10 Jamaicans are headed for Budapest for the 45th World Chess Olympiad, September 10th through the 23rd. Over 190 countries will be participating in the open event and over 180 countries in the women's events.
okay.
The open team will be led by Joshua Christie on board one and includes Freya Smith, Jaden Shaw, and debutants Raheem Glaves and Darren McInnes. The women's team will be led by Adani Clark on board one and includes Rachel Miller, debutant Rihanna Brown, Gabriella Watson, and Ariel McCoy. Warren Elliott will be accompanying the coach of the open team. Shane Matthews will be the coach of the women's team. The defending champions are Uzbekistan. The
Uzbekistan.
defending women's champion are Ukraine.
Well, typically it's China and Russia we hear about,
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Uzbekistan
Mm-hmm.
was that former Union of Socialist Soviet
Yes.
Russia
A piece of it.
and
And
Ukraine.
Ukraine, a piece of it. Okay?
You
That's what
know?
I'm saying. That's why I said typically is Russia we say.
Yeah.
Because guys like Popova and all of those guys, they were the world champions that people talk about.
Exactly.
You
Yep.
know?
In the world of tennis, the US Open is on, and Coco Gauff knocked out by Emma Navarro again in the US Open round of 16, 6-3, 4-6, 6-3. The loss ends Coco's bid to defend the US Open title for the first time since one Miss Serena Williams.
Oh boy.
While the win by Navarro makes her the youngest player to reach the US Open and Wimbledon quarterfinals in the same year since who? Serena Williams in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Coco actually lost in the round of 16 to Navarro, also at Wimbledon earlier this year. I like to keep track also with Formula One these days. Lewis Hamilton, he finished fifth in Sunday's Italian Grand Prix. And next on the circuit is Azerbaijan on September 15th.
Okay.
That's where we put a wrap on this evening sports update, Trevor.
Well, it has been quite an interesting summary, I must say that, interspersed with our conversation as we went off on that tangent and then came back at the next came back on the next exit.
Yeah. And just to remind folks, that as I said earlier, that Len Chambers, Cricket Hall of Famer, has written a book and it's available on Amazon. So, you can pick up your copy, but we will have Len on as soon as I finish reading that book.
Okay.
You know.
When you finish, you'll bring him on.
Yeah, I bring him on when I'm finished. And the book again is Through the Years, My Life in Cricket by one Mr. Len Chambers, a cricket Hall of Famer and former Jamaica player.
One thing you have not mentioned, John, is the upcoming Cricket Hall of Fame event.
The Cricket Hall of Fame event is October 5th in Hartford.
Yes.
And we'll talk more about that. Actually, I will also have the chief of the Hall of Fame. He'll join us on the Zoom chat.
Yes.
Um, Closer to the event, which is very close now. I'll talk to him, Michael Chambers, about it,
Yes.
and get him on with us.
Yes. That'll be good. That'll be good.
Hmm
Okay.
I really, I think Michael he would can come on just about any time once he's available. It does
Right.
not have to be Wednesday. We can on Zoom.
Exactly. I was about to
Yeah.
say that it does not have to be on a Wednesday. You know,
Hmm
we are both gray haired semi retired people. I say semi retired because as long as you're married, you're never retired. Don't tell her I
Trevor,
said that.
you know,
Because
I mean,
listen. The honey do this and the honey do that is still there, right?
man, I went to the supermarket earlier today and bought some stuff. She wants to make soup.
Okay.
And I come in and she said to me, "Oh, you need to cut up this stuff." I said, "Well, I have to finish preparing for my program at 6."
well, well,
But, Trevor, as soon as I get up in the mornings, my dear, I love my wife. We're we're approaching what 44 years of marriage now. But as
okay.
soon as I get up in the mornings, she'll come and she'll say, what's your plan for today? I mean, I hardly open my eyes yet.
You know that's a loaded question, okay?
So I said, oh, let me check my diary. Oh boy.
Well,
Yeah.
let me say thank you to all our listeners and ask you please to share this program when it gets it, spread it among our community because it is one of the things that is very much needed. That part of our culture that is a little bit subdued right now. So again, let me thank you, John, for being a great educator. As you say, we do not do entertainment anymore; we do edutainment.
hmm
Okay, so that even as we entertain you, you are educating. So thank you so much for filling that role. It is desperately needed in our community, and I'm happy that you're able to spare the time to do all the research that it takes to put on a program like this on a Wednesday evening. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And just before you go, Trevor, you might want to remind our viewers, our listeners, if they wish to advertise
Oh yes,
in John Sports Corner,
please come on board.
certainly.
You can give out your telephone number now.
It's you can call me at 646-265-4738, or they can call you, Trevor.
Yes, you can call me at 347-538-0276. 347-538-0276. And to watch this episode and all past episodes of John Sports Corner, go to www.sosabone.com.
Bone.com.
And when you click on Sosofat TV, okay, on our channels, you'll find John's channel is right there, John Sports Corner. And don't forget now that you need to be eating your rum cake or your rum cake and drinking Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee while you're doing so every time you're watching this sports program. It's on 24/7, 7 days a week. And we have a great following on LinkedIn. And I'm going to ask them to share. And I always ask them to share the program. We get a lot of likes on it. And this is
hmm
the only one right now that they can get 24/7, John. It's the only one
hmm
that they can get 24/7, 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. So, again, my thanks to the listeners for your support. And please go to Winner Circle Shop on sociabone.com and support the platform by getting either your bun, and that's a nice ginger bun, you know, and with
The,
stout,
the
with stout and other things in it. Yes, heavy bun, you know. And then we
warm
have,
cake,
and then we have the warm cake.
warm cake,
Okay,
you
we have
know.
the warm cake, and you can order that early for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And for your friends that you want to send a Christmas gift to, and you don't know what to send them, trust me, a warm cake could make them love you more than they ever loved you before. All right, but there's something we have up there that you know might know. We have bulla, ginger bulla. Okay, and we don't have any pear, but we might put a pear picture beside it. You know, me pear, avocado, me mean.
Yeah.
And the last thing is this, something that all I want to forget. I think they call it toto.
Toto, Toto
Okay,
cake, gizzada bun.
yes. And I'm going to say this: let us support our own. Let us support the products that belong to us, because when we do that, it strengthens our culture and appreciation, and our children will actually see the things that really is not mainstream, but it belongs to us. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much,
And
guys.
some of these products, in a couple of months, might very well make their way into the White House.
Oh yes, 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 yes. Come, as I like to call her, come, you know.
Yeah.
Come. I'm gonna send you black cake, and I'm gonna send you warm cake.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Have a
gonna
good
give it.
evening,
I'm
Trevor.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna give it to Yvette, Congresswoman Yvette Clark, and so make sure you take come some warm cake, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, John. Let me just
All
turn
right.
off this recording and say all this. Thank you so much. And